See what we got in here. Morning, Wanda. Top of the morning. Griffey, Marcus, my guy, Denzel. I see you out there on the road, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Put your preferred morning greeting in the chat for me, if you will. And while y'all doing that, let me know on the scale of 1 to 10. Wa alaikum assalam. Neo, I see you. On the scale of 1 to 10, let me know how your mindset doing this morning. How is the mindset this morning? 1 to 10, 1 through 10. How we feeling? Great day. I am at a okay then. Say that then. That's the best way to start the day. Wanda gave us that positive energy. Everybody else, we need to be at a 10. Where we at? Okay, 10s followed by 10s. 10s followed by 10s. Everybody at a 10? Come on now. Somebody gotta be at like a 9 or something. Somebody gotta be a nice Monday. Come on, y'all. Ain't nobody at a 9? We all 10s? Mo, top of the morning. I see you in the room. Put you on a scale of 1 to 10. How your mindset feeling this morning? Don't be a copycat. Don't copy everybody else just because they said 10. Unless you on 10. If we on 10, we gonna ride this wave all the way throughout this call. All the way out to I should have went first then. Okay. Okay then. Say that. Look, I love it. I love it. I love it. Without further ado, y'all know one of the things that I love to do. Hold on, let me let somebody in the room. Somebody in the room. Let me let somebody in the room. Welcome in, welcome in. Put your preferred greeting in the chat. Go ahead and greet the rest of your family and let us know how you feeling, how your mindset doing on the scale of 1 to 10. Right? We all on 10, so y'all outnumbered. Don't come in the room and disrupt our energy. If you ain't on 10, keep it to yourself. No, I'm just playing. Let me know though. Seriously, 1 through 10, how y'all feeling this morning? Y'all matter. Y'all matter. Y'all matter. All right, cool, cool, cool. Well, y'all know what we do. Usually we play the video in the morning. We play it a couple of times. We let y'all watch the video, see what y'all take from the video, and then if anybody want to come off of mute and share what they felt about the video, what they findings were, what they learned, then we give a couple of minutes for us to go ahead and do exactly that. What we doing here is a little bit different than the typical earning motivation calls. This is a mindset movement. So we like on track, right? We on the growth movement. And so each and every single week we had a topic, and we started with the ABCs of life because ABC is just simply something easy to remember. So I wanted to go with that ABC theme. Started with A for adversity, B for belief, and C was for choices that we make. But then we went ahead and we extended that and we added a D, which is for the decision, right? Because once you make a choice, that's one thing, because you can make a choice to do something else. But when you make a decision, you cut everything else, all other options, they get cut off, right? And so that was powerful. Last week we had a very, very powerful call. If y'all wasn't here, I apologize that y'all missed it, but I hope that y'all don't miss any more. But we didn't want to stop there. So today the topic is on execution, right? So making a decision is one thing, but execution is an even greater thing, right? In life, we must execute. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The one who don't execute is the one who ultimately get left behind in every single thing, in every aspect of life. I don't care what it is, right? If you was that kid, you was looking at your friends and they was brave enough to ride the bike or the skateboard and you sat there on the sideline, wherever it was, they was snow fight, but you didn't want to make a snowball. You got left behind, right? You lost out. All you had was the ability to think about how much fun it looked, right? How much fun it could have been, what you should have done, right? You was too afraid to jump in the pool and splash in the water, but it sure looked good, right? We don't want to be that person. So today we're going heavy on execution. And let me get some light on for y'all, because one of the things that I love to do, besides play the videos, I love to read to y'all. So today I got a paragraph I'm gonna read to y'all out of The Power of Concentration. And it says, by attending to each day's work properly, you develop the capacity to do a greater work tomorrow. I'm gonna repeat that first line for Dominique entering the room. Good morning. Let us know on the scale of 1 to 10 how you feeling this morning. How's your mindset today? But by attending to each day's work properly, keyword properly, attend each day's work properly, you develop the capacity to do a greater work. It is this gradual development that makes possible the carrying out of big plans. The man who figure out doing something each hour of the day gets somewhere. At the end of each day, you should be a step nearer to your aim, to your goal. Keep the idea in mind that you mean to go forward, that each day must mark an advance and forward you will go. You do not even have to know the exact direction so long as you are determined to find a way. But you must not turn back once you have started. How many of us started something and we turned back? We pivoted, right? We felt like it wasn't going to work. We started to doubt and we turned away. Put me in the chat if that's you. We love honesty in the room. And last but not least, what I say is this: even brilliant men's conceptions of the possibilities of their mental forces are so limited and below their real worth that they are far more likely to belittle their possibilities than they are to exaggerate them. That's deep. I'll read that one more time. Even brilliant men's conceptions of the possibilities of their mental forces are so limited and below their real worth that they are far more likely to belittle their possibilities than they are to exaggerate them. So, family, like no matter how intelligent we all are in this room, right? And we all are exactly that. We still are in all of our brilliance more likely to underestimate our capability than we ever are to exaggerate them. Why? Because even when we say we got big goals and big dreams and I can do this and I'm gonna do that, a lot of the times we often doubt that. Like subconsciously, somewhere deep down inside, we don't really believe that, right? Right. And that's the reason why we gotta execute. Because once you execute on something, you eliminate all of that doubt, all of that fear, all those things that prevent you from taking that step forward. But I'm gonna go ahead and get into this video. And before I do, though, before I do, before I do, there's some people that didn't put how they feeling in the chat. Like that's important. We want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling? Right? Last week we committed on a decision, but I've been watching, man, and I gotta ask, how many of us are still on everything we said we were going to do? Like, let's just be honest. Like, how many of us are still on everything that we said we were going to do? We still haven't got a chance. We haven't had the opportunity. We haven't made the move yet. We haven't made the jump yet. How many of us is that? Right? And that's okay because that's humans. That's what humans do. But today we're going to deal with that. Today we're going to deal with all of that. Because here's what I know about this room, y'all. Y'all are all smart. Y'all are all motivated. Y'all been showing up. But I also know that knowledge without execution is just an expensive education. You can know everything about credit. You can know and not never take the time to fix yours, right? You can know everything about building a business and you can never launch a business yourself. You can come to call, you can come every single week for 52 weeks straight, be in the same place that you was 52 weeks ago if you don't execute on nothing. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not information, it's execution. And I really want to try to let that land. Like, I really want to let that land because I said, if we make it a point to show up every single week for 52 weeks, right, we'll be 52 times better than we were last year when we reach next year. Am I right or am I right? Let me know in the chat. Deontay, I see you. Welcome in. Top of the morning. Let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 how your mindset doing. How you feeling today? And you right on time because we're gonna get into this video. And this video is not one of them ones that's entertaining. It's not one of those ones that's gonna make you jump for joy. Okay, 10. Man, that's crazy. We got a 10 out of 10. We got a solid 10 out of 10, man. I love that. I love that. It's not gonna make you jump for joy and everything, right? But I want to make you think. I'm gonna jog that mind because motivation, we all know it fades, right? It don't last all day. But the mindset is what we gotta lock in on. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this video for y'all. And when I pull this video up, I want y'all to do me a favor and let me know if y'all can hear the sound. Simply put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear the sound of this video.
The person I'm going to hire.
You don't.
You get Gary.
Y'all hear that?
How do I know that the person I'm going to hire?
You don't.
You get Gary.
I've got really good hiring advice. Learn to fire fast. You guys have your ego tied up in your hiring. You think you're so good at hiring. And then you hire somebody and they're shit, but you make pretend they're not because firing them admits that you were wrong. So it's your own ego that's holding you back. My ego is only balanced by my humility. I hired somebody for hundreds of thousands of dollars the other day, interviewed him 3 times. I fired him one day into him working at VaynerMedia. I fired him 4 months later, but in my head, he literally got fired the first day. I'm like, check your ego in the door. You're not that great at fucking hiring, but good news, nobody is.
How do I know that the person I'm going to hire?
You don't.
You get Gary.
I've got really good hiring advice. Learn to fire fast. You guys have your ego tied up in your hiring. You think you're so good at hiring. And then you hire somebody and they're shit, but you make pretend they're not because firing them admits that you were wrong. So it's your own ego that's holding you back. My ego is only balanced by my humility. I hired somebody for hundreds of thousands of dollars the other day, interviewed him 3 times. I fired him one day into him working at VaynerMedia. I fired him 4 months later, but in my head, he literally got fired the first day. I'm like, check your ego in the door. You're not that great at fucking hiring, but good news, nobody is.
How do I?
Wow. First of all, I want to apologize on behalf of that man for cussing the way that he did. He didn't have to do all that cussing. He didn't have to do all that, but he had high energy, man. He had some very, very high energy in regard to a simple situation of hiring or firing. So look, this is a man with experience. Somebody began to ask the question. He didn't even let the man finish. I already know where you're going with this concept. How do you know? You don't. But the reality is that he did. He did know. That's why he sat there and he was asking. That's why he was sitting there wanting to know. How do I know if you having those doubts, then obviously you don't really know for real, right? But it was a lot more powerfulness going on in that video that was bigger than hiring and firing. Did anybody catch it? Did anybody catch it? Put me in the chat if you caught something that had absolutely nothing to do with hiring anybody and you felt it, right? And while we thinking about it, while we going over that, anybody in this room had to hire somebody? Put me in the chat if you had to hire somebody. If you ever had to hire an employee, put me in the chat. Yeah, we got some bosses in the room. Or we got a lot of bosses in the room, right? And if you had to fire somebody, oh, look at this. We got bosses in the room. Have you ever had to fire somebody? Yes, yes. Okay. Yes. For all those who hire somebody, did y'all have to fire somebody? He said all the time. Yes. Okay. 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 Cool. Cool. What was that firing process like? Was it prompt? Was it was like, man, hell no, you out of here, right? It was like, yeah, I'm done with you. Or was it I gave you a chance. I didn't really want to do it. Too long? Okay. Cool. So people said it took too long. Was it easy? Was it easy to fire that employee? Let this person go? Right. And it doesn't matter if you was the boss, if you was working in HR, you was assigned to hire somebody, something gave them the bus token. I came with you, Griffey. This dude is too funny. It happened so fast, and there's been times it took longer. Times it was hard, times it was easy. Gave it a chance, it was hard. Okay. Tried to be compassionate, but they forced my hand. And that's usually what it'll take, y'all. People will force your hand. And that's it. That's the answer that I was looking for. Forced his hand. He didn't want to execute on that. Like it was hard. Like sometimes that heart get in the way. Sometimes like we know we need to do something, but we second guess and we third guess. And ultimately it just proves to be like this person just wasn't the person for the job. Had to let him go. No matter how much I didn't want to do it, no matter how hard it was, I gotta let him go. Right? But the crazy part about that is that how many people fire twice? If you had to fire more than once, put me in the chat. Because see, the reality is that even though we understand that, like, look, I tried everything I could try, man. This dude just I had to end up letting him go, let her go. Right? Yeah, I had to fire twice. The second time around doesn't necessarily make it easier than the first time around. Even though we know. Right? And so this is proof that information is just only half of the battle. And it really mean nothing if we don't act on it, because guess what? If we continue to let the person work the job and they not being effective in the job, we continue to harm the business, right? And if we continue to harm the business, we harm everybody in it. And we harm everybody that we do business with, right? You see, it's not even just simply about the cash flow, the influx of cash that the business get, but what about the service that we providing, the standard that we stand upon? And we got somebody that doesn't match that, right? Cool.
Yeah, yep. Mount Kisco, yep.
Uh,
Oh,
boy, boy,
no problem.
all right, cool. But let me ask y'all this. What about if you was on the other end of that firing decision and your boss wanted to fire you? How would you feel then? This is important. This is important. Let me know, y'all. What if y'all was on the end of the firing stick? How would y'all feel? What would y'all do? What would y'all do? Don't be shy now. We was bold when we had to fire people, right? We was real bold when we had to they say ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I felt wronged. It wasn't your fault, right? Why are you trying to fire me? Right? I'm a good worker, right? I got bills to pay. I do better. Come on now. That's why I'm building my own. Nah, that's not what I asked you. I said, how would you feel if you was on the end of being fired? How would you feel? They were full of sugar, honey, iced tea. Definitely got bills to pay now for sure. Been there. I just told them I quit before they fired me. Right? Right? Yeah, that's what you told them. That's what you did. But what I'm asking y'all, the thing that y'all all are avoiding is how did you feel? Right? Like Wanda said, I felt wrong. That's an emotion. I felt wrong. You did me wrong. Why would you fire me? I don't deserve this. Do you feel like you deserve this? Anybody try to talk their way out of that, losing that job? And what's crazy is you could have been trying to talk your way out of losing a job that was harming you and preventing you from elevating in life. You might not needed to be there. You might not needed to be there. They lost a good one. Love that. I love that, right? But here's the reality. You are in control, like in complete control of your person. What you decide you want to do today, tomorrow, what choices you make today, tomorrow, if we live to see it, like you are in complete control of that. So in a lot of ways, you are your own boss. You are your own boss. So the question is will you be willing to fire yourself when you get the underperforming, when you're not doing the job that you know you're supposed to be doing in a way in which you're supposed to be doing it? Or would you tell yourself it's okay, right? When you hold somebody else accountable, you're not doing the job correctly, you're not performing. But when it comes to you and your own life, because you're the CEO of your own life, will you fire yourself? Talking to somebody, look, now somebody saying I should have been fired. Okay, cool. That's on the job. But is there anywhere in life, in your life, that you feel like, man, I shouldn't even be doing this, right? Or would you be willing to put the work in to make sure that you do the job accordingly? And that's the most important part, because it's applicable to everybody and it's also applicable to you, and you got to hold yourself accountable. So there's no lingering around. There's no hiding by the water cooler having a conversation because it's better. There's no, I need to use a bathroom 10 times a day because you're trying to get away from the workstation. Not in your life. You have a job to do. You have a task to perform. You got to execute, right? Anybody remember the video? Remember the things that this man said on the video? And you want to come off mute and you want to share something that you saw in the video that stood out to you before I continue to unpack that? If you do, raise your hand so we can let you come off mute and we can share some of your findings in that video. Oh, yeah, y'all nervous. Y'all finna get fired. I'm finna fire all y'all.
I got something to say.
Fire all y'all.
I
Yeah,
got something to say, Reem.
go ahead.
So the part that got me is when he said he fired him 4 times in his mind before he actually fired himself, before he fired the person.
Hmm.
So that's the part that kept replaying in my head. It's like, damn, he wanted to do it. He wanted to do it all those times, but he never had the courage. And then when he finally got the courage, he finally fired that person. And then he realized that person was supposed to be fired since day one.
Mhm.
So he been realized that he gave him a chance and gave him a chance and gave him a chance. And then finally it was no more chances. And he just was like, you know what? You're fired.
All right, ma'am. So with that being
All
said,
right, look. So
your
so
business
here's the
account is
thing,
not sleep.
because I'm gonna play this video again. Because what he said, what he didn't give him 4 chances. He said 4 months. And he said he knew on day one. He said, I fired the dude on day one. And my mind, he knew it wasn't gonna work out. He like, man, hell no, this ain't gonna. He let that go on for 4 months. And the reason I want to make that distinction is because time is so important, right? Time is so important. And that's why we got to make our decisions quickly, right? Quickly. That's why they say slow to hire, quick to fire, right? He said 4 long months. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna play it again. Look what he said.
Know that the person I'm going to hire
I
is.
don't.
Shit, Gary.
I've got really good hiring advice. Learn to fire fast. You guys have your ego tied up in your hiring. You think you're so good at hiring. And then you hire somebody and they're shit, but you make pretend they're not because firing them admits that you were wrong. So it's your own ego that's holding you back. My ego is only balanced by my humility. I hired somebody for hundreds of thousands of dollars the other day, interviewed him 3 times. I fired him one day into working at VaynerMedia. I fired him 4 months later, but in my head, he literally got fired the first day. I'm like, bah. Check your ego in the door. You're not that great at fucking hiring, but good news, nobody is.
How do I know that?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. Gave the man the job. Let the man stay on the job for 4 whole months. Interviewed him 3 times. Only needed to fire him once. What in those 3 times that he didn't understand? Like, this is not the person for the job. But he instantly he said, I knew on day one that I fired this dude. You interviewed this man 3 times. 3 times. Still gave him the job. And somehow on the first day, you knew he wasn't the person for the job. I mean, even after you interviewed the man 3 times, you didn't know during one of those 3 interviews, you hired this person, knew on day one he's not the person for the job. And then for 4 whole months, you let the man stay in the job. No telling how much damage he did, or how much more the business could have been if they would have had somebody efficient inside of that position for 4 months, right? That's a whole quarter and some. That's a whole quarter and some, right? So the thing I'm gonna try to understand is like what your decisions is costing you. That's why I let us say, don't do tomorrow what you could do today. If you could do it today and you know you could do it today, why are you saying I'll do it tomorrow? I'll do it later. You know damn well you're not gonna do it later. You're not gonna do it later. You gotta have that execute mindset. Deontay, I see your hand. Go ahead. For I go in. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, boy. Share it with us.
Yes, the ego thing, like you were saying, he didn't want to admit to himself that he made a wrong choice. But at the same time, like you said, he wasted 4 months. But was he not wanting to fire him because of other people? He think other people would think about him. Oh man, why did he hire this guy? Or was it just himself that he didn't want to hold himself accountable?
Mm, mm, mm. Ego. That's the word that jumped out at me as soon as I first played it. Ego. It's so good that you brought that up, and I love that you brought that up. Because today the E is not for ego, it's for execute, right? We're gonna have to execute on that ego of ours. Sometimes we let that ego get in the way. That ego is an idiot, right? We smart, we intelligent, but that ego, that big old head that we be having that come out of nowhere with the nonsense, with the ignorance, we gotta eliminate that immediately. Immediately. Like, how many of us, like, every day we acting on ego? Like, be honest, man. I'm gonna be the first one to raise my hand. I'll be letting my ego get in the way. I'll be ego tripping, right? And not only do I ego trip, I know damn well that's ignorance. It's stupid, right? Like, I'm just being real. I'm just leveling with y'all, right? But still, I let my ego get like this big. Like I let it get like that big. When I know, like, boy, you need to knock that off, man. Stop. You know what I mean? I won't stop it. Even when I know like this ain't cool, this is like I will let the ego, I will let the pride, I will let those things take over at times. Just to be like, man, you know that was stupid. Why would you come on now? Right? Anybody can relate? Oh, I'm just the only knucklehead in the room. Like I'm just the only hard-headed person in the room. And anybody can relate. Like we know that ego is a problem, right? Anybody still get affected by it? Mm-hmm. Boy said I could definitely relate. Most definitely is. Only him. After all, like I'm only human after all. Say that then. Say that then. But what I want to say is Deontay, you still going?
No, that was it.
That was it. Appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. Denzel, come on up. Come on off mute, my guy.
Hey, hey, yeah, man. Man, I think it's real deep. Like you said, like the ego is big, and sometimes you know how they say that's like the pride before the fall. It's like the pride before you fall, and you don't even realize you it's self-inflicted pain. You know, a lot of the problems it ain't what you add on, it's what you cut out. You know, and I feel like that's what I took from out of it. Like you
Mm-hmm.
know, so cutting the extra weight. I feel like ego adds weight onto your situation.
Nah, for sure. For sure. Hey, you know that's crazy. I seen you start laughing. As soon as that ego thing came, he started laughing, right? And it's so good what you said too, man. Basically, in a nutshell, like sometimes less is more. He
Yeah,
said it's not what you add on, it's what you cut out, man. That's so good. That's so good. There's a lot of times we be feeling like we just need more, right? We need more of this, more of this, more of this. But a lot of us, all the time, we neglect to realize, man, we got too much going on as it is. Like we need to cut off some of the stuff that we
exactly.
already got going on in our lives, and then
Yeah,
ultimately we be able to make better decisions, right? So, where my chat go? I gotta make sure there y'all go. All right, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, we gotta make better decisions about the things that we already got going on in our life. Like think about it. If we're letting ego get in the way, we letting pride get in the way, right? We letting our good heart, we being too compassionate, and all of those things are getting in the way, and all of the choices and decisions that we made in the past, but we're still putting more stuff in our life, bringing more stuff in our life. Like we just piling on top of the bad decisions that we already made. We got to start ironing that stuff out. We got to start ironing that stuff out, y'all. And so the thing is done is better than perfect. Like imperfect execution is going to be perfect planning every single time, man. We think too much. Like most people, we still waiting. We waiting to be ready. We waiting for the right time. We waiting until they know like enough. They have like enough. Feel confident like enough. But the reality is there's no such time. The right time to execute it was yesterday. And the second best time is right now. I know y'all heard that. I'd rather see you launch something that's imperfect today than to watch your perfect something that never gets built. Nobody ever witnesses it. Nobody ever see it, right? Imperfect execution creates the feedback that you need. That you need. The feedback when that man stood up and he said, "How do I know I'm hiring?" Dang it, Gary, because he knew. He knew. He thought. I don't know why he thought, but he thought Gary was gonna tell him what he wanted to hear. He knew what he needed to do. He just wanted somebody up for whatever sick reason. And people, we do this a lot. We just want somebody else to say, no, you don't have to do that, or you shouldn't do that, or knowing damn well you should. Knowing you should, right? Feedback creates improvement, and that's the right type of feedback. And then your improvement is going to create your excellence. You can't get to excellence without going through execution first, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it's messy and it doesn't look right. You got to execute, right? That's why the mentorship is execute to excellence. That's why I named it that. I didn't call it that, or I didn't call it decide to excellence. It's called execute to excellence because excellence is not a destination that you arrive by planning. It's a standard. You build it rep by rep, action by action, day by day. The two in the middle is not a number. It's not a number, right? Execute to excellence. It's the bridge. Execution is the bridge between where you are and where you're trying to go. Every mentee that I work with, like the first thing I do is I get them moving. I get them moving because a moving target is harder to stop than a still one is. And the opposite is also true. A moving target is more harder to hit. So you got to lock in with your goals, right? You can't be moving all over the place when it comes to that, but you got to be the one to move. You got to execute first and then you refine it along the way. That hit, that's slick, that's good, that's me, right? And we keep growing. We keep growing. So it's like if you're ready to stop sitting on what you know and start executing with somebody in your corner, that's exactly what the program is for, right? That's exactly what the mentorship is for. And if you haven't tapped into the mentorship program and you're not holding yourself accountable, then that's exactly what you need to be 100%. Anybody else want to unpack that video? Anybody else want to share anything that they found that they learned on that video? Before I start giving y'all homework, before I start telling y'all what y'all need to do in the execution realm. Right? Cool. So look, this is what I want you to do. This week, you got one job. Your only job is one rep. Just one. Whatever you named in that chat, if you named it in that chat, I want you to do it today. When I asked y'all earlier, was it something that you didn't execute on that you said? Like I don't even remember seeing any answers in the chat. I don't know if anybody was bold enough to actually type it in and answer it in the chat. I really just don't know. But I know for a fact you answered it in your head. You thought about it. You thought about it. And whatever that is that you thought about, do it today. Dominique said, post it. Post the content. Do it today. If you ain't did it, do it today. It ain't gotta be perfect. It ain't gotta be complete. You just gotta start. Because done is gonna be perfect every single time. And the body in motion stays in motion. And next week, we want to hear about it. Matter of fact, we don't even want to wait till next week. We want to hear today in the community. We want you to drop that in that Telegram chat. Like I went and I posted, y'all check it out, right? Post it. Put yourself out there, out there. Shit. Share the link to the post, right? If you post it on Instagram, put the link to the Instagram post in there. Let us come check it out. Let us come support it. Let us come like that post for you. Let us empower you, right? Ain't nothing to it but to do it. That's it. And you're gonna feel so much better afterwards. And I know for a fact that you are. Because it was, I believe it was the call, it was call number 2. Yeah, it was call number 2 that you spoke about going live. And you spoke about how good it made you feel. You spoke about how good it made you feel to go live. That you sat there and you kept doing what you needed to do. You didn't quit, you didn't give in, you didn't give up. So today we want to see it. Today, drop that post in the chat and we're gonna support you, right? I didn't even let you make that decision. I made it for you. I set the standard for you. Drop it in the chat and we're gonna all come support you. Right? Right. My guy just jumped in the room, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. I was wrapping up the call. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this video one more time. Let us just know though. Check in with it. Let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 how your mindset feeling this morning, bro. How you? And then I read something in the beginning. I'm gonna read it again because I like to read to y'all. By attending to each day's work properly, you develop the capacity to do a greater work tomorrow. By attending to each day's work properly, you develop the capacity to do a greater work tomorrow. It is the gradual development that makes possible carrying out of big plans. The man who figures out doing something each hour of the day gets somewhere. At the end of each day, you should be a step nearer to your aim, step closer to your goal. Keep the idea in mind that you mean to go forward, that each day you must mark in advance, and forward you will go. You do not even have to know the exact direction so long as you are determined to find the way. But you must not turn back once you have started. And so the idea is to never stop, never turn back, to keep on going, to keep on executing. And then the last sentence is even brilliant men's conceptions of possibilities of their mental forces are so limited and below their real worth that they are far more likely to belittle their possibilities than they are to exaggerate them. Far more likely to belittle our possibilities than we are to exaggerate them, right? And that's from the brilliance of man. So that's all of the brilliance in us. So I just really want y'all to let that sink in and keep that in mind, that the most brilliant of people in the world, the most brilliant people in the world are more likely to underestimate themselves than they are to exaggerate. And what I said before when I read this is that even when we exaggerate subconsciously, a lot of us, we often don't even believe that, right? We say, I'm gonna do this. I know I can do this big thing, whatever that is. But internally, we have a little bit of fear. We have a little bit of doubt. We that nervousness, those things that, and we don't ultimately believe that we can do it. Some of us, right? Not all of us. There's a lot of greatness in the room. But just thinking about the brilliance of people, they underestimate themselves, or they're most likely to underestimate themselves than they are to exaggerate, right? So, Glenn, I see you just jumped in the room. You jumped in the room late at the end of the call, but you here now. Let us know on the scale of 10. How's your mindset? How are you feeling? How are you feeling today? And then I'm going to play this video one last time.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I get my daughter ready for camp now that school is over. So I'm just had a chance to get on. But man, right now I'm feeling great. Reem, I'm feeling great because of the approval that happened with me over the weekend. It's giving me my confidence back. I feel like I'm on the right path, and I'm ready to dial in and do whatever I got to do to keep moving forward. So I appreciate all your advice and everything that you've done for me, man. I'm riding it to the top.
Oh man, look, I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. You wasn't even supposed to come out mute, man. You supposed to put it in the chat, which you was a 10, but no. Hey, yeah, man, congratulations again on that approval. And it's crazy that you bring that up because that's exactly what we was talking about, like that nervousness, that not willing to execute. And that's one of the things you was like, man, are you sure? I'm like, bro, pull a trigger on that, like, you know what I mean? But you did that. That's one step closer. That's one step nearer to the goal, the ultimate goal at the end of the day, man. And I'm proud of you taking taking the initiative to execute, bro. Congratulations on that approval. Congratulations on that. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and share with y'all this screen real quick. And then do let us know how I mean, I guess you're on 10. Ari said he on 10 too, man. And I love to see that. I love to see that. And that's good because we literally 10 out of 10. Everybody today was on 10. When we first started doing these calls, people come in like, oh, I'm on like a 7, I'm like an 8. You know what I'm saying? But we got good
Person I'm gonna hire.
day. Let me break this video down one last time.
Do I know the person I'm gonna hire?
You don't.
Gary.
I've got really good hiring advice. Learn to fire fast. You guys have your ego tied up in your hiring. You think you're so good at hiring. And then you hire somebody and they're shit, but you make pretend they're not because firing them admits that you were wrong. So it's your own ego that's holding you back. My ego is only balanced by my humility. I hired somebody for hundreds of thousands of dollars the other day, interviewed him 3 times. I fired him one day into him working at VaynerMedia. I fired him 4 months later. But in my head, he literally got fired the first time. Like, check your ego in the door. You're not that great at fucking hiring, but good news, nobody is.
How do I know the person I'm gonna hire?
You don't.
Gary.
I've got really good hiring advice. Learn to fire fast. You guys have your ego tied up in your hiring. You think you're so good at hiring. And then you hire somebody and they're shit, but you make pretend they're not because firing them admits that you were wrong. So it's your own ego that's holding you back. My ego is only balanced by my humility. I hired somebody for hundreds of thousands of dollars the other day, interviewed him 3 times. I fired him one day into working at VaynerMedia. I fired him 4 months later, but in my head, he literally got fired the first day. I'm like, check your ego in the door. You're not that great at fucking hiring, but good news, nobody is.
How do I?
He said nobody is. That's crazy. Hey, look, so quick recap. The things that we went over, broke down out of this video that we pointed out. One was ego, unwillingness to admit that you was wrong. The fact that this dude interviews this man three times before he hired him, but knew on day one that the man was fired. In his mind, he knew, but he waited 4 months to fire this dude after hiring this man for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Right? He didn't want to execute on that. There was a couple more things that we had broke down in regards to that video as well, even including the dude that asked the question or started to ask the question. He said, how do I know? Like, he knew already. He was looking for somebody to appease him, for somebody to tell him exactly what he wanted to hear, because he didn't feel comfortable with making that firing decision, right? Ultimately, that's what I felt like. He wasn't comfortable being able to go fire this guy. So he was looking for a way out, an excuse for somebody to justify it for him, why he should keep the person in the job, right? And oftentimes we do that type of stuff. But one of the things that just stood out is that he said at the end, he said nobody is really good at hiring. In the beginning, he said we all think that we're good at hiring somebody, right? And this is probably why this dude interviewed this man 3 times, right? He thought he justified to himself 3 times why this dude should have the job. And then immediately on day one, he was like, nah, this dude ain't for the job, right? And so at the end of the video, what he had to do is he had to admit that like nobody's really good at hiring, right? Because we don't know what we don't know. People be hiding stuff. People be lying on applications. People will fake it till they make it, right? We don't know what we don't know. We don't know what we don't know. But here's the reality. Think about the hiring process versus the firing process, right? He said people are so good. People think they're so good at hiring others. So much so that we get to play in the game. Oh yeah, we detective. We want all the answers, right? We looking for all of the things like, oh, you ain't gonna get over on me. You're not gonna, right? We locked in. But when it comes time to make that firing decision, we cower up. Now we're hungry, right? The power is gone. Whether it's due to your emotions because you're too, like want to say, I'm too compassionate, right? We got great hearts. We got whatever it may be, whatever it may be. So we gotta learn to check that ego in the door. And the correlation was that if you was the one on the end of the firing stick, like you was on that chopping block, how would you feel? And then we landed that plane by pointing out the fact that we the CEOs of our own life, right? We're our own bosses. So when we be making excuses not to fire other people because we got a great heart and all that, ultimately we're gonna have more grace for ourselves. So when it come time for us to fire our damn self, right? We're gonna give ourselves grace. When we know we're doing the things we shouldn't be doing, we give ourselves a pass. When we show up late on a task that we said we was gonna perform, if only person gonna hold us accountable is ourselves, we often give ourselves a pass, right? So unlike this dude who waited 4 months to hire somebody that he knew in his mind was fired for day one, we gotta execute. We gotta quickly eliminate those habits. We gotta fire those. As soon as we get to having that ego is in the way, fired, right? That procrastination in the way, fired. And again, what I love to say is don't do tomorrow what you could do today. All right, y'all. Anybody else want to unpack that? Anybody else want to point out anything that they got in the video before we start wrapping up this call? Now is the chance. Now is the time. Be brave. Be brave like Dominique so I could put you on the spot because we're going to be looking for that content. We're going to be looking for that post, so it better be a good one. Nah, I'm just playing. It ain't got to be great, but it got to be done. And it got to be today.
Something I've been doing, so I got one. I should have posted one yesterday, but I got it.
Okay, don't let me get to asking you to post two. The one you're
It,
supposed to post yesterday and the one you're supposed to post today.
didn't even get to take the video. It was like a beautiful thing about it. It was all us minority people sitting down at a picnic. My daughter, we made it playful because my kid, she was sitting there playing and then still conduct the business meeting at one time. And we all people of color. That was the beautiful thing about it.
It wasn't beautiful.
It was because listen, things got
No,
accomplished.
no, I don't want to listen. Don't talk about it. Be about it.
Oh,
We
I
gotta, we gotta.
already.
I want to see the beauty. We want to see.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? We want to
okay.
see you represent these people of color. That was so beautiful. Put that out there in the world. Let us see
I
that.
am today. When I go to her business today, I'm
Everybody
going.
heard it. Everybody in the chat
Yeah,
heard it. If y'all heard it, put me in the
definitely.
chat.
Hold me
Hold
accountable,
her accountable.
everybody.
Hold her accountable. Put me if you heard her, right? And so I'm gonna also post that in the Telegram group so that we can see it, right? And so for those of y'all who are late, and if you ever wanted to like double back and you ever was like, I want to see what happened, what I missed inside of the call, all of y'all have access to the community. The community is 100% free. Let me get this out the way. Move that thing out the way. The community is 100% free. And I'm gonna show y'all real quick exactly where that's at. Inside of the community. So when you log in, when you get here, you head over to the courses section. Inside of the courses section, you want to go down to this one. Morning Mindset replays, they are all here. They are all uploaded here. And then the one from today will be uploaded within the next hour, as well as some other things that y'all be able to check out from courses, resources, all that. And we got various different channels that you can go to, from credit pair to et cetera, et cetera. Y'all can go ahead and check that out. And if y'all don't have the link and y'all are not inside of the community, I'm gonna go ahead and drop that for y'all right here in the chat. My guy Glenn doing his thing, man. My guy Glenn. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Glenn, I remember Glenn had put in the chat. I'm putting Glenn on blast. He put in the Telegram chat. He said, "Hey, can anybody help me with this charge off?" I said, Glenn, if you don't stop playing, if you don't stop playing with that, yeah. Yeah, we on now. That's what I'm talking about. All right, yeah, that's the link to the community right there. I posted in the group. I love that. I see that. To the event on Thursday, y'all pull up to that. That's gonna be lit. Let me grab this one last link for y'all. If y'all are, where's that link at? Add that. Copy that. All right, cool, cool. And then this last link right here that I'm gonna put in the chat is for the Telegram group. So if y'all in the Telegram group, go ahead and jump inside of the Telegram group. Oh yeah, I gotta drop one more. I gotta drop one more link. My bad. Main link. Main link. All right, yeah, and if you're not yet registered for the mindset calls and you want to get the reminders, link is right there. And so, as a reminder, as we wrap this up, man, we started off with mindset as a movement. It's greater than motivation, right? We love to get motivated in the morning, but that can change quickly. Motivation is temporary. Mindset, we want to lock that in. So we started a whole movement, and we started with the simple ABCs because it was something simple to remember. A was for adversity, B was for the belief, and C was for the choices that we make. Then we grew, and then we added a D for decision, and today was E for execution. So that being said, I want everybody to get out there and execute, man. If it was something that you've been waiting to do, that you've been putting off, whatever that was, try to knock that out first, right? Before we do anything else, knock that out first. Because like Denzel shared with us, and sometimes we got to iron out the stuff that we already got in our life before we start adding more to it. Less more, y'all. Less is sometimes more, y'all. So if we've been falling short on the thing that we've been doing, making excuses for it, giving ourselves great, then that means those things are imperfect. And we piling stuff on top of that when we're not necessarily getting better. And as the reading said, every day we approach the job every day with that intentionality. That set us up for a better tomorrow, y'all. So without further ado, I'm gonna let y'all go out there and get into the day. Let's get it. Let's grow, family. Execute.